How you doing everyone, it's Juan here from SwitchWatch and I'm back with another review. Today it's Ironcast, provided to us by Ripstone, so thank you very much indeed. If at the end of the video you really enjoyed this review, please hit that thumbs up for us, really helps us out. Leave me a comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this game or any other Nintendo Switch game for that matter. And last but not least, if you're a new watcher, please consider subscribing. Let's get into the Ironcast review.
Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this.
So let's get straight into the story. Ironcast is set in the 19th century and is a fictional war between England and France in 1875, and for a decade these two countries have been locked in battle, eventually reaching stalemate. This is where the Consortium of Merit comes into play, a bunch of wealthy individuals who invest heavily in building advanced models of Ironcast. These people are sick of the war and have come together, and their only aim is to put an end to it one way or another. They have no allegiance to either side. The Ironcast is the latest war machine, which is a huge walking mech called an Ironcast. You begin as Aris Powell, who is one of the best Ironcast pilots. You then go into a tutorial, learn the mechanics of the game, and in all honesty, while I appreciate some backstory, for me the text just goes on for far too long and I wanted to just jump straight in. It was not really a story that kept me intrigued. The audio, however, is really good, it's dramatic and it works really well in this setting. The visuals are quite fantastic in the fact that I really like the steampunk setting, and I think the Ironcast look good. I like the way everything is set out, which makes it obvious as to what you need to do in terms of collecting your resources, where to put them, and how to manage your mech. Loading times, however, are a little on the long side. As I always say though, it's all down to the gameplay and how fun the actual game is, and thankfully for me this is the best part of this game. It delivers a really rich and differing experience in this genre. Once you've negotiated the tutorial, you're ready to take your Ironcast into battle. There are a few missions to choose from. Once you're done exploring everything the menu has to offer, in the hangar where your Ironcast is kept, between missions, dependent on how much scrap you've been able to collect, you'll be able to repair and upgrade. The interface at first can honestly be overwhelming, but once you know everything is, it becomes second nature. Now missions are down to you to choose. You can choose to take on riskier missions for more reward or play it safe. The game is a mix of roguelike, match 3 and turn-based genres, and actually when you put it all together it works surprisingly well. If you don't like match 3 games, just wait a second, because you need to think of games like Puzzle Quest and Faster Than Light to give you an idea of what kind of mashup of genres this game actually is. In the grid you will notice 4 types of resource nodes. These are ammunition, coolant, repair and energy, and you can match these nodes in any direction and you're not limited to how many you can link. You will also see on a rarer basis link nodes, which allow you to link 2 different nodes together, and also the overdrive orb, which will allow your weapons to do more damage if you can collect them. You have to link as many as you can to fill up your resources. This is all about managing those resources, as you have 2 turns each, and the winner is the one who takes down the opposing Ironcast or steam tank if you choose a battle mission, the latter being easier. The roguelike element comes in because you will die a lot and you will have to start all over again, and that does mean leveling up your mech entirely. The benefit though is that you will unlock tokens that you will be able to then use to unlock characters and other Ironcasts, which is quite welcome. Now once resources are filled by linking gems, you need to decide whether to attack your enemy or to choose to defend. Do you raise your shield and get your Ironcast walking to take less damage, or do you go all out and fire your weapons? These are choices that you have to make, but it'll also depend on the resources you can extract from the grid. Will you have enough coolant and ammo to fire your weapons and keep your guns cool? Will you have enough energy to raise your shields and keep your Ironcast walking? Will you have enough repair resources so that you can repair your weapons or your shields, for example? All of these things that you'll have to make decisions on, which makes the game all the more compelling. The missions are procedurally generated. You will need to keep strengthening your Ironcast to then take down the area boss. In between missions, you'll need to decide what to upgrade on your Ironcast and whether to spend money on repairs before going into the next battle. You'll also have a turn limit which you have to defeat your foe in. There's also 3 different battle type missions. One focuses on offense, where you have to kill the opposing Ironcast, another on survival, where you have to last for a certain amount of turns, and then there is the collection, which was my least favourite mission. When starting a mission, I just wanted to get right into it, and it was a little frustrating how much dialogue there was in between, because it does become quite repetitive. As this is a roguelite game, you will have to start again and you'll have to listen to these same pieces of dialogue time after time. I often ended up skipping it so I could just get right into the battle. I enjoyed the offensive missions the most, but you will have different opinions depending on how you like to play. The game is punishing, especially when you die deep into it and you have to start again. You know, it's frustrating when you've leveled up your mech and then you might get a bit of bad luck. Now, to be honest, what frustrated me the most was sometimes the gems will just not fall your way. You may really need ammo and you'll get stuck with coolant gems. It's maddening. So sometimes it felt a little more down to luck for my liking. The game for me though feels right at home on the Switch. It's great in handheld mode, and personally I liked using the touchscreen better than anything else. I felt the controls in docked mode were not as tight, and I didn't really like moving the sort of slow cursor about. So talking about the value then, the game is priced pretty fairly in my opinion. $12.99 in the UK, $14.99 in Europe, and $12.99 in dollars in the USA. You'll easily get around 15 or 20 hours out of this, and probably more if you want to keep replaying it. It's one of those games where you'll keep coming back to perfect your strategy, collect the 50 unlockable items, and best of all, each campaign is different. I enjoy just playing a match because it's addictive like most of these games are, and it feels fresh and keeps you coming back time after time. Let's talk about my verdict. This game is one that will certainly grow on you. For me, it wasn't one that instantly drew me in. The story for me was just a little bit heavy and often very drawn out. Having all that text at the beginning of missions didn't do it for me, but you may enjoy it. Get past all of that and you have a game which is deep and strategic. One where you will find out if you're offensively or defensively minded. A game which has injected something fresh into the match 3 type genre. I found myself losing hours trying to improve my Ironcast and upgrading it so it could be strong enough to beat the boss, wanting to do better in each new campaign, finding unlockables or collecting resources. Knowing each decision could mean death or success. Luck sometimes plays a part, and dying sometimes felt like there was nothing I could do, which was frustrating. There's so much more to this though than meets the eye. It's solid and addictive and a deep strategy game, which would be a shame if it was to be overlooked. Despite some of its flaws, I can certainly recommend it. For me then, this was a 7.5. If you like this review guys, please hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this game or any other Nintendo Switch game, and last but not least, if you're a new watcher here, please consider subscribing. My name is Juan Romero from SwitchWatch, and I'll see you on the next one.
Down like this.